To what extent did photography influence Impressionist artists? When Claude Monet displayed Impressionism's sunrise, an art critic named Louis Leroy came up with the name Impressionism. In 1877, after the creation of the term, Monet and a few others put together an Impressionist exhibition. Photography inspired many artists to paint realistically and improve their perception of nature in their paintings. The influences of photography. Painters would take photos and use them as a guide to help them paint. This helped them to be more accurate. People believed that some Impressionist paintings closely resembled photographs. Painters had just started to paint more abstractly than realistically. John Berger, a famous historian and artist, argues that the photographer's way of seeing is reflected in his choice of subject. The painter's way of seeing is reconstituted by the marks he makes on the canvas. Yet, although every image embodies a way of seeing, our perception or appreciation of an image depends also upon our own way of seeing. Photography's influence on Degas. Edgar Degas was one of the artists that were hugely influenced by the development of photography. Degas used the cropping effect to improve on the composition in his Four Dancers painting. After seeing Edward Muybridge's The Horse in Motion, this showed how a horse could move its legs. Degas tried to paint horses similarly as shown in the picture below. Degas took photos of his friends, ballerinas, and others. He then painted them by using his photos as a guide. Impressionist painters were struggling to incorporate realism in their paintings at the time. The invention of the wet collodion and its impact. In 1850, the wet collodion was invented. It allowed photographs to be taken within seconds. Though the outcome is impressive, the steps require a lot of patience. The invention of the wet collodion was a success and it became more accessible to people. Though it was proven that the development of photography influenced many Impressionist artists, people believe that Impressionism was influenced by other factors such as color laws and rules. Impressionist painters were exploring the color theory and the effects of light in nature using color. Impressionist painters felt differently about using black and white tones in their paintings because they believed it deprived the painting of color. Instead, they used darker shades of blue and purple and replaced them with black. The law of simultaneous contrast of color was created. It states that if two strips of paper with the same plain color but different shades are placed parallel with one another on the same level, the part of the lighter colored strip nearer the darker strip will appear lighter than it is, while the corresponding part of the darker strip will seem to be darker. Thanks for listening.